So we faced an interesting challenge for the stadium. They had shot pieces of the actual stadium in Spain, but only represented the first tier. And even that first tier wasn't always full of people. And there were almost two different stages we had to play in. There was the pre-fight stage and the post-fight stage. The pre-fight stage, everybody's relaxed or cheering or pretty much sitting in their seats and is not moving, and we developed a 2D solution for that, which is we shot people on blue screen, and then we rotated those people out, placed them in cards, and set up a system in Houdini that could cycle through different types of action based on what we needed. We're able to script all these actions to kind of mimic the behavior of the live action people.
The eye can just kind of tell when it sees something that's not real. You know, if it was filled with digital people, it would have been a lot more obvious that it wasn't a real stadium.
So we had that card people system for the first part. The second part, we had to deal with people were running around chaotically, and that wasn't a system or a setup that lent itself well to cards. So we actually had to go and create 3D people.
There was one particular shot where we had to replicate one of the Sons of Harpies 30 times, and we were really worried about that at first. And then Matt Dirksen and I, the rigger, had a conversation, and we said, I bet we could set up 9 animation cycles and then clone it 30 times and just do 9 simulations, and the animators could just place all these guys on a path. And when you look at the final scene, you can't even tell those guys are digital doubles.
And on top of that, we had to go and extend the stadium from the second tier and third tier.
With anything, it's best to get as many photoreal references as you can. Clearly, the first thing that looks up is that it's missing atmosphere, so you want to add in as much photoreal things as you can to make the two blend in seamlessly from one another. We had a lot of good reference to build this extension of the stadium, and then by being able to fill out the stadium with atmosphere and practical photographed elements, it just made the stadium come to life more.
The stadium was based on the actual stadium in Spain that was shot. The extensions were basically visualized by the art department, and we had some very, very nice sketches to go off of what they were looking for. Even some of the extensions weren't enough because we didn't have plates to cover some of the different angles, especially the high angles, so we had to make a completely CG stadium. So that model got built complete with moving and blowing flags, with burning cisterns and smoke.
For instance, in the stadium there was probably 1,000 colanders and torches, and you had to make sure every pot had a fire in it. Because little details like that just sell the shot a lot more.
But from there though, the one thing that does not exist is the front of the stadium. And that was a really big scene because, basically the whole sequence kicks off with one shot where we come up and over the stadium. And it doesn't exist. There's no point of reference. So we had to rely heavily on concept art and also Joe's vision of where he wanted that shot to go.
When dealing with large environments like this, you have multiple problems. The weight of the model is always a concern. If you build something too big and heavy, it becomes very, very awkward to work with. It also becomes very, very difficult to render, and some of our render times would stretch over days just by the sheer size and complexity of the model. So for something like this, the model had to be built flexibly, so we had to build the entire thing. It also had to be built so we could turn on and off pieces that we didn't see, so we weren't just spending hours and days and months rendering things that didn't matter.
And then at the end of the day, you end up with a really nice photoreal environment that everybody can stand behind and that everybody's really happy about.